my god. Hey you guys, what's up? You know who I feel like right now? Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And I'm kind of happy about that because she's always like, I was always jealous of her when I was little. Like I wanted to look like her. Like she was one of my favorite characters. Oh. Today's vid is about subculture, okay? Oh yeah, mad controversy. Mad controversy. First of all, let's just look at it. Subculture. It's felt just like the modern Renaissance one. Let's open it up. I used it already, so sorry. But this is it. Just so you guys can take a look at the colors. There are 11 matte shades right now, and there are 3 shimmer shades. So I think it's a pretty good deal. It comes with a lot of mattes. I know what drew me personally to the palette was that it didn't really have any colors that I already had. Like all of these colors I didn't necessarily have, and I've always wanted, for example, a deep blue like Axis. I've always wanted a deep purple. Fudge is included in this palette. That's the only repeat color that's in this palette from Anastasia. Every other one is new, but that's a color that I've known and I've seen on their Instagram a bunch of times before, and I wanted it, so I was kind of happy that it came in this palette. But I just really liked it. It was different, and I didn't have anything that looked like this, so that's what personally drew me to this palette. It also retails for $42, which is a pretty good deal. You're getting 14 eyeshadows. So as I do my makeup throughout this video, I'm going to show you how to achieve this eye look. But I also talk about the palette. It's really my first time using the palette, and you guys get to see my initial reaction and how I use it and if I had a problem with it or not. Okay, so I am going to dip into the shade Axis. I'm just going to show you guys while I dip into it. I'll actually zoom in for you guys so you can actually see it, because I know everyone's been talking about fallout. Once and twice. I actually did it kind of like 4 times. You don't see anything dripping off the palette, so I'll just tap it off right here. Cool. I'm going to start blending this out on my outer crease. Like that. Okay. Dip into Axis again. Again, 1, 2. No ridiculous fallout. Tap. And I'm going to go like that. I really like this shade. Very, very pigmented. That's the show. I really love how deep it is, and you can definitely sheer it out. I'm going to keep doing this just to build up the color. So I'm just going to repeatedly dip into that and just build up that color depth. I want to pack a little bit more onto my outer corner, just make it even. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to be taking the brush that it actually came with, and I'm going to dip into the shade New Wave right here. And I'm going to use that as just transition shade. So I'm dipping it to once, twice. There we go. So some fallout, but it's not really a huge deal to me, and it doesn't really make a big difference like in comparison to modern Renaissance. I kind of want to just buff out that crease. Just like that. Just on the edge, I want to soften the edges with it. I didn't love it. I think I'm going to go back in with Fudge. But I just want to repeat the same step on the other eye so that they're like look even. Oh, so I'm going to go in with Fudge now instead. And actually, let me dip into Fudge for you guys to see. I dipped in the same way I would with any other shadow, and my brush is totally coated. Tap that off, and let's get to blending. Oh yeah, I love this. It's providing like a nice rich, I kind of like the way that looks. So I'm gonna just overlap it. It almost looks like charcoal-y, which I like. Now what I want to do, I'm just going to take the opposite side of my brush and dip back into Axis. And I want to pack that color into my outer corner, just to revamp that blue before we start cutting this crease. And I love that. So now how I always carve out my crease is with my LA Girl Pro Conceal. So I'm just going to take some of that out. I like to squeeze a little bit of the product out. Ooh, a little too much. And I'm just going to flatten it against the palm of my hand so it's not too much product. I can control how much product I'm putting on my eye. So I just flatten it like that, back and forth on each side. Just like this. I like to relax my eye when I'm doing this so I can see where exactly I have to carve it out, because my eye has folds in it, so I like to just see where I have to carve it out. Great. So now what I'm gonna do is just kind of blend it out with a regular flat. This one's not clean, so I can't be a hypocrite and be like a clean one, but I'm gonna use a dirty one. So I'm just gonna take it and kind of blend it out. Just make sure that it dries faster, and then go to the edge and just kind of like go back and forth so that it blends with the other color. Just like that. Because you don't want to see no harsh lines. See how that blended pretty nicely. Just for the sake of using another shade in this palette, I'm going to go in with another flat eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to dip into the shade right here, Untamed. And I'll actually do it on camera so you guys can see the texture. I dipped in a bunch of times. My brush is coated and I don't see ridiculous fallout. Tap the extra off. Okay. And I'm going to put that right where we need to blend, where the darker shade meets the concealer right here. So just kind of tap that there so we can blend it out. Why not? And do the same on the other eye. Cool. Cool beans. Cool, cool. Cool. That's pretty nice. I'm just gonna take a brush that has no product on it and just blend everything right there together. I just want it to look seamless, you know? So finally, I've been dying to use this shade. I'm going to dip into Electric right here with a flat eyeshadow brush, which you can also see me dipping into on camera a bunch of times. And there we go, my brush is coated. So I'm going to just wet my brush with setting spray like I always do. 1, 2, 3. Cool. And I'm going to put that where my concealer is now to start cutting that crease. Ooh. I like this shade. I think it is pigmented. But it doesn't necessarily wow me that much. Not as bright as I wanted it to be, but it is a nice color still. Love the way it looks like overlapped with that bluish green. It's a very, very pretty combination. See the way that looks overlap with that green? I just want to come closer so you guys could see. I'm almost going to do that on purpose. I just love how that looks. Love it. Oh my god, yes. Yeah. I don't know where all the hate is coming from because that's so pretty. I always do. I'm just going to clean up underneath my eye. I don't really see a crazy amount of fallout under there, so I think that's good. The shadows were very pigmented. I am not disappointed. Nice. That's just how I create that like sharp line at the end, and it also will help you with your eyeliner. You like it? Y'all like it or not? I want to use the shade Q because it just really intrigued me. So I'm gonna take this, a little pencil brush, make sure it's clean, just clean. I'm gonna dip into cubes, swirl it around, tap off the extra, and then I'm gonna spray it, of course. And I'm going to use this color in the inner corner of my eye. That's pretty. That's pretty. Yes, honey. So what I'm going to dip into is the shade New Wave, and I'm going to tap that onto the bottom of my lower lash line. My fucking neighbors and their fucking dog that they leave. I deal with this all the time. They leave their dog outside. It's so annoying. Anyway, I just think that's a nice little touch to the look. So I'm gonna get some mascara on my lower lash line. I think I'm just gonna throw on a nude lip and call it a day. Okay, you guys, this is the final look. Overall, I love it. I don't see what all of the fuss is about. You can actually see my palette. It doesn't look anywhere as near dirty as every other blogger that posted a horrible video about this palette. Now, I don't get paid for these things because I'm not that big yet, but like, I just don't see what all the fuss is about. I loved this palette. Was there fallout when I dip in? Yes, but did I find it any different necessarily than Modern Renaissance? No. I also want to talk about how Anastasia said that this palette should be used. They recreated, I don't know if they recreated all of their eyeshadow formulas, but I know that they amped their formula so that they're highly pigmented. Anastasia basically said that you only need to dip in about once or twice into the shades to apply your eyeshadow. When I got Modern Renaissance, I hit pan really quickly on burnt orange right here because I dipped in like 1,000 times with my brush, but I realized it was a really powdery shade. So with that being said, once I realized that they're so pigmented, you only need to dip in about once or twice. You can't complain about the product if you're using it the wrong way. Like, obviously, if you're swirling in there and like digging for gold, you're gonna have a shitload of fallout, especially if that's not how the brand intended it to be used. So I don't understand how some bloggers hit pan, especially if you notice the texture and you're that experienced with makeup. I just don't understand how you could do that. I didn't just dip in once or twice, and didn't strictly follow the guidelines, and I still don't have a ridiculous amount of fallout. So I don't really understand. I just don't get it. I think a lot of the reviews were kind of jumping on each other's bandwagon for some views, because I really enjoyed this palette and it works for me. And I'm excited to do some different looks with it. I didn't want to do a look like this because I'm more of a soft look kind of person, but I wanted to use the highly talked about shades, which was like Axis and Electric and things like that, because I wanted you guys to really see for yourself. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found my review helpful. And I just wanted to say, make sure you're staying tuned because I'm going to be doing way more looks with this palette. Definitely on my Instagram and hopefully some for YouTube as well. So with that being said, I'm going to try to come on here a lot more. And of course, please comment, like, subscribe, DM me looks, etc., etc. And I just want to say thank you again for watching.